Your house is on fire. You can get in and out 3 times. What is it that you're grabbing?
Right.
And of course, it's like kids, pets, and then what?
Welcome to Real Siblings, It Ain't Easy, a real estate podcast with the goal to educate, inform, and save their listeners time as they navigate the market and properties in their neighborhoods. Get ready to join real-life siblings and professional real estate advisors, Donna Reed and Eric Seemann, as they discuss how it may be simple, but it ain't always easy.
Every time I think about the places I have known, I realize that times have changed. So I'll do what I can to make this house into a home. Yeah, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Real Siblings, It Ain't Easy, a real estate and lifestyle podcast that, like its host, I'm Eric, she's Donna. We're a bit unconventional. We are the Real Siblings. Both of us work in real estate, and we are thrilled that you have decided to join us. If this is your first time, thanks for joining. If you're a regular listener, thanks for joining us yet again. We believe our unique blend of real estate and together with lifestyle is both informative and enlightening. And again, that's what we believe. Up to you. Our topics vary. Conversations go in a lot of different directions. We always endeavor to provide our listeners with insights into our industry, into life, and maybe we better equip you for your next real estate transaction. With that said, we've already kicked around a lot of different discussion ideas. This is a lifestyle episode, and take it away, Donna.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I was just thinking, it just felt in like the 5 minutes that we just talked, like as if we were all sitting around the dinner table trying to figure out exactly which way we should go, and we went all over the place. So our last episode, we did talk about the market and about interest rates and timing and everything. And the reason we're venturing right back into lifestyle right now is because recently our brother Ken, who was a guest one time here, found a YouTube video that included our grandfather, who was a magician in Chicago. This is my mom's father. And more information than we ever knew about his life. And simultaneously, a couple of errors, but still more information that I never knew. And it prompted us to think about how we save our stories, how this generation might save their stories, and what does that mean for first-time buyers, for maybe those who are downsizing, right? Those who are leaving and towards the end of their life and we're going through photo albums, things like that. So we discovered a few things, didn't we?
What did you say?
Yeah, photo album.
A photo album.
Yeah, that's that antiquated thing that
we scroll on the phone, right?
Exactly. I think for me, Eric, the combination of the video that Ken found and the one that we realized our mother was in years ago, maybe she was 18 or 19, and then we found out that everybody in that video was a Swedish relative of ours, just prompted us to pause and think about history in general. And sometimes it's the house. So for me, it was super cool in that video to see what I vaguely remember as great-grandpa and grandma's house. Are you old enough to ever have any memories of that?
No.
No. So I remember, this is what I remember. I remember that we would go there and that sometime during the evening, the men would go to the basement and play cards and probably drink and have cigars. Uncle Sigurd always had a cigar, I think. And then Grandpa would go change clothes and come back as Santa Claus. Like he was always there, and then he came back as Santa Claus. So that's my memory of that house and having the basement. But then to see the street corner where Grandpa and Grandma lived on Jeffrey. Now, do you remember that?
I do very, very, very vaguely because Grandma was 3. Or I was 3. She was when she died in 68. So how many memories are we able to capture
in that length of time? Yeah.
especially when it was Chicago. And we went, when we were younger, we probably went a little more frequently.
2 or 3 times a year.
2 or 3 times a year for a couple of days. What kind of memories does a 3-year-old get to make in that amount of time?
Yeah. So had they moved to Kingston when you have memories?
It was Kingston that I remember. That's when my biggest memory of the whole tree, what we called the costumer. When you went up the stairs, you walked in the door, and Grandpa had what I still say was the largest chair I had ever seen in my life. Because it was a little bench to sit on to put your shoes on and hang your hat, put your umbrella in the stand, and adjust to go out the door.
Yeah.
But it was a big chair from my standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those bits of memories, and this was all started, the video that Donna is speaking about that my brother Ken found was because of a wooden nickel.
Do you have your wooden nickel?
It's on the wall. I don't have it pulled off. And the point of that is our grandfather, magician, thespian, had created wooden nickels to promote himself that he'd carry around and just hand out. On one side was the Indian head that looked like, and the other side was Vic Torsberg, entertainer. Mm-hmm. And the person who put this together is someone who covers history in South
Chicago
area. He's got to be a native. We haven't had a chance to personally connect with him yet. And he found a bunch of these wooden nickels, and for whatever reason, the one that was my grandfather's our grandfathers dominated the video piece. The original segment was about 12 minutes long, and almost 6 minutes of it were about what he found on my grandfather, as opposed to a business that was now an empty corner and vacant or burnt down, or now a new strip center that never existed. But for whatever reason, this wooden nickel with my grandfather connected to the point where it wasn't just history on my grandfather. Then he was able to go and he met my grandmother and proposed 10 days later. And
I was shocked. I didn't know that.
By the way, that his brother was also manager and worked at the same magic shop, and he had obituaries on Uncle Chuck and Aunt Sig, and it just was astounding that this person found this, to the point where the last thing he did was drive from Chicago, Illinois, to Havana, Illinois, a distance of 2 to 2.5 hour drive one way to go stand at a gravesite for someone he never knew and never met, and felt connected enough that he needed to, in his own words, he said, I needed some closure.
Yeah.
And do we have those things nowadays? I guess is even some of the discussion.
And it came up recently with friends of mine related to Christmas cards. So we went Christmas cards, and then we had Christmas letters and Christmas emails. And I had someone say to me, I quit sending them. And to be honest, I didn't, because I'm always online and talk to the people all the time anyway. So the information from a year, you probably already knew if you're close to somebody throughout the whole year. So even those tangible things that we used to get, and I still get some, but to be honest, some of them are from our Aunt Dude, who's 92, Janie Lichtfuss, who's 92. You know what I mean? And I don't talk to them all the time. So the way that we hear stories, tell stories, save pieces of our lives, like all this stuff on this rack behind me that my kids are not going to care at all about. You know,
or your paintings on the wall.
Paintings on the wall. I hope somebody likes that one. That's a good. But it made us think, and both of us to talk a little bit about then. Okay, what happens? We sell a house. You often take a picture at the title company with the buyers, with a key, with something like that. They're not always out in front of the homes, right? That they're buying.
Right, because we don't go back to them.
Right.
We've picked up the keys ahead of time. We've done a final walkthrough, and the pictures of everybody excited at closing is at closing, which is generally a title office.
Right. So what are the memories for those people. I had one where somebody was carrying his wife over the threshold, which I loved. I have a video of that. But what does it mean in today's world to you with the way that we save memories, that we share our memories and stories, and then argue with each other about what really happened?
Good point. Honestly, with clients you've stayed in contact with, have you gone into their house in a year and seen whatever they've done with the house?
Some, but not all.
And then when you go in, do you note the fact that it's like, wow, they've got a lot of antiques. Well, they've got what seems to be family heirlooms. Or is it somebody who is a minimalist, contemporary, everything's new, and there are no memories?
Yeah. People, I think about that. I stayed with Will and Robin in Long Beach, and they're very much minimalists, very much. And I thought, I wonder what he would think. I literally looked around and thought, what would he think of my house? I'm not a hoarder, but I have stuff. So do you.
And I have more stuff than you, right? Go ahead. So I'm closer to a hoarder than my sister is. But every single thing I look at
is a memory.
From my standpoint, is a memory. I have a picture that I'm looking, as I look up in this video, and I'm looking at right now, which I picked up when I did a photo shoot in Chicago when I was doing the printing and magazine work that I did. And it's a picture of early 20th century Chicago, Michigan and Halsted.
Really?
Intersection. And it's carts with horses and barrels and some autos and electric. It just is, it's like, oh, I've got to get that.
Like the epitome of old Chicago.
Yeah, it's a black and white that was colorized, so it's not even the original. But I look up at it, and the whole reason I got it is because I recognized the street name.
Yeah.
And because of where it was. And it's like, that's my mom's hometown.
And you still have the one that Adam did for you.
Absolutely. Adam is up here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me, which is why I have the wooden nickel.
Yeah. I didn't even know about the wooden nickels. I didn't even know that story, Eric. So I'm like, that must have been a Ken and Eric time frame. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. But we talked as we were kind of going through this, and as I say, we brought up the first time home buyers. So much of what we do now is on our phones in digital and saved in the cloud.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that there is an aspect of a future episode that my sister co-host does not know about yet, about where the cloud is and the data centers that cities are now competing for in order to store our memories digitally someplace.
And yet, one of those they are looking to build here, and it was already turned down in one area, and they're looking at another, and it's because of the water usage.
And that's exactly why I have it, because March 22nd is National Water Day, and that's why that's a future episode coming up. But it is impacting cities in two levels.
Yep.
Water and electricity.
Yep.
Because how many kilowatts does it take to power the cloud that saves your photos, that saves your videos now that you don't have, that you pay for storage? It takes a lot of both. And cities don't have the infrastructure for it. So if you don't print out pictures, if you don't have a CD, if you don't have a thumb drive, if you don't have, and a lot of us put it out in the cloud because it's easy to store. And I can access it on my computer or I can access it on my phone. But aside from the access, what happens if? Whatever that if is.
Yeah.
We know that there are, let's use the term bad actors, somewhere around the globe who are trying to hack the cloud.
And we know that airports aren't working because of lack of things. And we know that, I feel like I'm bordering. I told this woman who waited on me at Home Depot the other day, I forget why it was transpired. Oh, a key. I paid $5 for a key. I was like, man, I remember when a key was like 89 cents or whatever. And she kind of went like this and yeah. And then she told me she opened that Home Depot. She's been there 29 years and there's 4 of them left who did that. And she's 78 years old. So she's got 10 years more on me. And I can't even fathom the changes the woman has seen in the way things are done. And there's a piece of me that feels really old when I say, I still want my tactile book to read. I still want things printed out.
Okay, so stop right there. You have a book club that you meet with. Does everybody get a printed copy of the book, or does anybody doing the digital?
One does digital. Everybody else gets the book.
Okay.
Which means then we have a bunch of books.
And it's Sunday that we're recording this. Do you carry a Bible to church? Or do you use a Bible app on your phone? Or do you not even need to?
There's a Bible in the pew, so I use the one at the church.
Okay.
But I have the one I got for confirmation,
Right. It's just, there are other things. And I guess, again, one of the other things we talked about before we started, as I said, I ran across something recently where it was, your house is on fire. You can get in and out 3 times. What is it that you're grabbing?
Right.
And of course, it's like kids, pets, and then what?
Probably our computers, or our phones and computers. That's probably
right.
Before we go find money, if we have money in the house.
If there's money in the house, it's not the family heirlooms. It's not those kind of things. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
What was it? Credit card commercial. I can't think of even which brand it was, but it's like cost of this, cost of this, cost of this, spending time with family, priceless.
Yeah.
And you can equate that to a lot of stuff that's behind you that I have blurred out in my background.
Yeah.
That mean a great deal to you, to me, that don't really have anything beyond to our kids. And things that in 2015, we were able to finally get together as a family and get our family heirlooms and bring them home.
I'm
whatever
coming
that
with the crystal lamp, by the way. I don't know when.
You're coming.
I'm coming.
You got to get the key. You got to get the key to the bedroom. It is interesting, as I say, I feel like to a certain extent, the reason part of this conversation is we are losing a bit of our legacy. I don't know whether the current generation puts as much value on those heirlooms as boomers, Gen X, maybe even millennials. I think Caleb has recently kind of waxed a little bit nostalgic. And that's a millennial thing.
Well, and when he got pictures of his dad this summer, making a photo album or a memory thing, because Gil died early on in all this photo, electronic stuff, and that he has, he created something out of all that stuff that he took home from the summer. You're right. He's the only one. God bless Adam. He would if he could, but he won't,
Right. But I think about Caleb's sister-in-law, Jessica's sister, who's the artist.
Yeah.
Who did the hand-painted artwork that they have.
Yep.
Could Jessica run in to save the artwork?
No, probably not. Same way I wouldn't get these, right?
And beyond those two, does it mean as much to anybody else? And they don't have kids yet. And kids change things.
Yeah.
To an extent. We also toss the idea that it's like now, if you're that first-time home buyer, up until now, your estate was personal items. And a car, probably.
Right. I got my car.
Now, suddenly, even if you haven't made the first payment, you've got a $300,000 estate because you closed on a house. And if something should happen to you disastrous within that month, what happens to it? And how many of our buyers immediately start going, ooh, I have to take care of this. Sorry, but I know there's a lot of people who go, yeah, we'll take care of that in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
and
nobody ever thinks that anything, it's kind of like, I don't know how to finish that thought, that something's going to happen to me now. There's this age thing where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh. And when I talked to Aunt Doo the other night, she said that to me. She said, Donna, I'm 92. My friends are gone. And the people that lived next door to me, and I remember Mrs. Mosier saying that, you know. So there's two sides to this. This is how do we create the memories for ourselves, for our own lives. Will there be one person in the family? And I'm just going to say that Paul, the cousin of our generation, but that's substantially younger than us,
second cousin, Paul Meyer,
is the only one. And we are, in theory, the same generation.
Right. He just happened to be one of the youngest.
One of the youngest. And
certainly, I always felt like he was younger than me by 2 whole years, maybe.
Yeah. No, I know. So I think that now we've accumulated our stuff. It's funny, I'm looking up at the hutch that Dad made. I hope that one of my kids wants this hutch when I'm gone. I hope, right? It's oak, but it's Dad's woodwork. So one would like to think. But I'm also looking at, that's from Peru, and that's from when I was on the game show, and that's something that when I was in the Up With People group, you know, I'm looking at my memories. They're not my children's memories. So there's a fine line between preserving the things and stuff versus the places and the memories. And I do believe that the generation, I don't know about the youngest kids, whatever they are, Z or, whatever comes after them. But I think that there is a whole generation that's way less into the stuff than maybe we are or were. And maybe in 20 or 30 years, that'll change a little bit. There'll be an evolution as they age.
That pendulum will come back and it'll be back to where, you know what, you just can't make this anymore. You can't find this kind of thing anymore. And there are some people we know who get that kind of upbringing, but there has to be something, I think, at the core make you want to. But I think in my photo cloud, I'm approaching 32,000 photos.
I don't save everything to the cloud, so that's interesting, which means I could lose mine sooner, and then it takes up space. But I started deleting, even the vacation ones. If I look at a folder and there are pictures of landscapes that I don't know.
Wow, that was really something.
Yeah. 32,000 pictures. When do you think you'll go through them?
I continually am looking and scrolling. And I would say just this past year, another 1,500 of Santa Claus.
That's a lot, Aaron.
Just this past season. And trying to pick the best, the ones that are the...
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we answered any kind of a resolved anything. It's a personal decision.
Yeah.
You can preserve things.
Mm-hmm.
Can you protect things? And protecting goes back to the priceless aspect of things that are in my house. Should it go up in flames that have no real value? I mean, I have Grandpa's, bring this back to the wooden nickel.
Yeah. One
of his 2 travel trunks from when he took the boat and went back over to Sweden.
Mm.
And it's got all the stickers that are on it.
Is that the one that's up on the shelf between the
That sits up on the shelf. I could actually, I'll toss it up on one of the backgrounds coming up because I actually took a picture so I could use it as a background. It can never be replaced.
No.
What it is, those stickers, all of it. If it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And you start over.
And yet, think about the memorials, those that like Ellis Island, and the places where it is things and stuff that remind us of history, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. There are museums that hold gowns that Princess Diana wore, right? There are, and I think about this when I was thinking about the things with Grandpa. First of all, when you know them as your grandparents, they're always old. Doesn't matter how old you are, how old they are, right?
Grandparents are grandparents, they're old.
Right, and you can't even hardly envision, like when I see the pictures of Mom and Dad holding Dan and I'm like, they were like 25. I don't know those people. So think about the Lucy and Desi Arnazes of the world, or the people who, Priscilla Presley, and, who always will have this idea of a young person, in their brain. And so for me to see Grandpa young was a big deal, right? Or Aunt Sig and Uncle Sigurd, to the point where we didn't recognize them.
We didn't even recognize them because 1950s, we didn't know those people.
We didn't know them. No, it took another cousin to say, that's my grandpa and grandma. to do that. So I don't know, this just feels like we're, waxing.
Yeah, if you're listening, or those of you who have made it this far, I'll just say, let's toss it out to you. Have you thought about it? Have you thought about what is family heirloom? What's important to you? What may transfer to another generation? How does that? This is more just of a thought-provoking episode. Not that we can give you a definitive answer, because yes, you can insure some stuff. But guess what? If it's burnt and destroyed and the value of it is purely sentimental or intrinsic, you're not replacing it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You can rebuild a house. You can put walls up. You can put sheetrock up. If you wreck your car, you can replace the car.
Right.
But the other stuff, if you were in an accident and you lost somebody, the new car doesn't fix that.
No. And as I'm looking at my background, the Corval that I have, you have 4 of them?
I know, I have 2.
You have 2.
I have 2 as well. And I sitting in my archway between the living room and out just outside my house.
You left yours white, right? So I stained mine brown to match. Where's the beam?
A beam. Can you get the beam? There's the beam
up there. And they were peeling white paint when, they were on the house and stuff.
So as you went to the Corbels, I saw the iris. That's another thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
it's a cool piece of stained glass, and for people who like stained glass, it may have life after that, but are they going to understand?
They don't have the story behind it, right?
Why the iris is and what that was about?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think that you and I definitely are more that way, although Ken has a lot of stuff, but his is just different, the way he collects things. And Dan he has a few things, but he just lives in the present, doesn't he?
Yeah, considering he's the oldest of us.
I know. He doesn't even remember these people we talk about. Unless he delivered papers to him in Lindsey, in which case, he'll...
In which case he may remember it. That was going back. We talked about that with Dad, and we do the same thing. It's like, who lived there? Who lived?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 generations ago or something like that. So.
All right, we've tossed enough. We've talked enough.
Yeah.
Close us down, sister, even though you said you don't have an official closing at this point.
This is definitely a lifestyle conversation. So thanks for listening to my brother and I sort of ramble our way through our memories, how we preserve memories, what that means for you if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're leaving the last home that you lived in with your family and downsizing and things like that. We don't take it lightly that you take time and you listen to us. We would love your thoughts. We hear periodically from a couple of our regular listeners who have a lot of history in Lindsey, Ohio. And I just want you to know that Eric is in the San Antonio area in the Hill Country, and I'm in Tucson. We are both with Keller Williams. We have an extensive group of agents across the country and the world that if you are looking to create your memories for the first time somewhere besides where we work, we can help you find an agent. What did I forget? Life isn't always simple, but wait a minute. I can't even remember our closing. This is episode 79.
Remember, it may be simple.
It may be simple, but it ain't always easy.
It ain't.
It ain't always easy. And so until next time, I'm Donna. I do remember that. I'm Donna.
I'm Eric.
And you're Eric. And we are Real Siblings. Thanks, Eric.
Every time I think about the places I have known, I realize that times have changed. So I'll do what I can to make this house into a home. Yeah, yeah.
I'm Annabelle, and I want to thank you for investing your valuable time in listening to Real Sibling. It Ain't Easy. I hope you found this episode informative and enjoyable. There are several ways you can support this podcast with my Grandpa Eric and Aunt Grandma. Please take the time to like, follow, and subscribe. Additionally, leave them a 5-star rating along with a review on your preferred podcast platform. The final thing I would ask is that you recommend this podcast to a friend, a family member, or an associate. Your engagement is critical to their ongoing success, and they look forward to connecting. Check out the show notes Grandpa put together with their contact information, including emails, phone numbers, and website. And remember, the Real Siblings look forward to hearing from you.